Redneck Garage. I'm out here on the back patio. I'm about to fire up the Traeger to cook some burgers, right? But it's random video time. That's just a potpourri of different videos of things that I found interesting or didn't make the cut to do a whole video on. So let's get started on looking at some of the musings at the Redneck Garage. I thought I'd take a little trip through the world's worst Chrysler Dodge Jeep dealership, the one right here in Franklin, Tennessee. More on that in a minute of why I think this is actually the worst one I've ever seen in my life. It has more to do with service than sales. They have a ton of Gladiators out here. Evidently they're pretty popular, huh? Here's my prediction on these, the Cherokees and Grand Cherokees. I don't think you're going to be seeing them much longer. The Belvedere plant where they make these is now on layoff due to, put in quotation marks, reduced demand. The sticker price on this Grand Cherokee is $51,000, which for me that would kind of kill the interest also. The Sahara edition without all the specialty bumpers, things like that, this one's rated at $52,000 sticker price. I'm kind of thinking when you came out with a four-wheel drive Wrangler for $52,000 and then you try to compete with the Jeep Grand Cherokee for $51,000, it's kind of a no-brainer as far as like resale value and what you would want, a four-door Jeep or a four-door Grand Cherokee. I think you kind of killed your own product. This Jeep, the American Expeditionary Force Jeep, it's got a bunch of extra stuff put on it. This one's booking out at about $74,000. Holy crap. Alright, so I did find a two-door model. They did have a new one in stock, and it's right at 40 grand. So a two-door will set you back 40 grand on a sport model. Actually, I was kind of hoping to get a view of one of the new 4xe, the electric plug-in hybrid Jeeps, but they don't have any in yet. It's the poster boy for all the millennials and all the hipsters that can say, Jeep has come out with a environmentally friendly product that protects the environment in which they like to explore. And then what I would say to that is, I wonder if the Chinese people that are building these batteries in toxic waste dump cities are thinking that that's that environmentally friendly. We'll take a look at that when it does come out though yet. I don't think they've hit the dealerships. As we go through the back, this is probably all the vehicles they can't figure out how to fix. I haven't been able to verify it yet. However, I've been told that this is where they keep the lubricant Vaseline for all the people that bring their vehicles here to get serviced. Okay, I'm going to try to shorten this up. I'm going to tell you why they're the worst dealership in the world. Back in the summer, my Ram ProMaster developed a miss, right? And I thought it could have been a valve. I wasn't sure what it was. It only had 40,000 miles on it, so it shouldn't have been freaking missing to start with. Anyway, I take it back to the dealership. They're like, yeah, we'll take a look at it, blah, 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 blah. So go forward a couple days, and the service advisor, put quotes around that, service advisor, called me up and said the service technician, put quotes around that, technician, said that your truck is missing because of spark plugs. And I was just like, I don't believe that. He goes, well, hang on, let me go talk to him again, I'll call you back. So he did. He said, yeah, he says it's spark plugs. He's 100% sure, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, these are 100,000 mile spark plugs in a 40,000 mile vehicle. I said, I don't think it's a spark plug causing a miss, but okay. So they said, we're going to go ahead and put spark plugs in it, you know, not just the one on the cylinder is missing, but all of them. And I was like, okay. And I really thought, okay, whatever, spark plugs, great. So that van is really my office. Everything I use in my locksmith business is in the van. So if I don't have that, you know, I'm losing money because there's jobs I can't do. So I go to pick up the van, and they hand me the bill. They had cleaned out some injectors, like flush, you know, pumped some injector cleaner through it, and put in 6 spark plugs, and the bill was over $1,000. And I'm like, holy crap, really? So anyway, I pay the money. I was just like, thank you for bending me over. And I get up to the intersection right at the edge of the dealership where I pulled in to do this video, and it's missing again. And it's not a huge miss. It's like you could just feel it. You could feel the miss. And I'm like, crap. So anyway, I thought, well, maybe it'll go away. Who knows? And I needed to get the heck out of there. It was late on a Friday afternoon. Following Monday, I go back to the dealership, and I said, hey, this thing's still missing. I paid $1,000, and it's still missing. The service advisor, air quotes, said, well, let me see. If you drop it off, we can take a look at it. And at this point, I'm kind of pissed. So I said, let me speak to the service manager. So I go speak to the service manager, right? So he tells me that he thinks, oh, it's probably the torque converter or something else. It's probably not a miss. If you'll come back tomorrow, I'll have my best guy ride with you and make sure that it's, you know, whatever it is, because he's not the one that evidently worked on it. I said, okay, great. Next day I go by, guy rides with me, he says, that's a miss. And I said, right? Isn't that what I said? He goes, yeah. So I go back, talk to the service manager. He goes, yeah, it's torque converter, right? And I go, no, it's a miss. He's like, oh, crap. He goes, well, we'll have to get it back in. He goes, good thing is it's under warranty because you paid $1,000 for us to fix the miss. And if it's the same thing, blah, blah, blah. And I go, okay, great. So he calls the mechanic back in, and I said, okay, look, this isn't an emergency. It's still drivable. You know, when do you want me to bring it in? He goes, well, Wednesday would be good. And I said, great. I'll have it back here Wednesday morning early for you to figure out what it is. And I thought it was a coil pack or injector or something like that. It had to be something funky. The next Wednesday rolls around, I bring the van back in, and I leave it with the service advisor, right? It sits until Friday. Friday I call up and I go, hey, what's with my van? And he goes, oh, yeah, I don't know. It hadn't been worked on. So I drive down there and I just go into the service manager's office and I'm like, what in the hell's going on? I drop my van off. He goes, oh, well, I wish I'd known that you dropped it off. You know, Billy Bob, the guy that was supposed to work on it, his wife had a baby, so he's off work this week. And I'm like, I don't really care. My van's sitting out there. I'm pissed. I said, look, here's the deal. You call me when you can look at my van so I'm not out my whole office of what I work with. And he goes, oh, okay, yeah, I'll do that. And I said, okay, great. Well, I wait, and I wait, and I wait, and I wait, and a month goes by, and it's still missing. So I decide to figure out what's wrong with it. I get the service manual for the ProMaster, find out you take off the whole front end of the van, then you got to take off the intake to get to the spark plugs, and I found out that indeed it was an injector, right? I replaced the injector, it ran fine, no more missing. So I thought, well, I wonder how long it's going to take for him to call me back. I wait another month. So 2 months go by, right? And at this point, I just like, I'm done, right? I am like so mad, so done. Okay, to make a long story longer, I had forgotten this part. After 2 months of not hearing from the service manager, I thought it would be fun to go down to his office, just walk on in and sit down, and he looked at me and he had this surprised look on his face. And I was just like, hey, do you remember me? And he was like, oh, yeah. And I go, you never called me. And he goes, oh, yeah, you mean they never called you? I go, who's they? He goes, oh, like up front? I go, you were the one that was supposed to call me. And he goes, oh, yeah. And he goes, well, and I said, tell you what, I've already fixed the van. What are we going to do about this bill of $1,000 where I had to go take it somewhere else because you refused to call me back? So I tell you what, if you'll bring me the receipt from the shop that you had it fixed at, I'll see what I can do about the bill. Well, let me tell you something. I stewed on that for a few days thinking, I got to go get a receipt from someone. And then I thought, no, that's not going to happen after I got such poor service and such crappy workmanship from this dealership. They expect me to bring a receipt from someone else? Oh no, sir, that's not going to happen. So now we can go back to the story, and this is what I did next. I called up and I said, I need to speak to somebody about some service work I had done that was incorrectly done, and I'm pissed. And they're like, well, let me get you the service manager. I go, no, that's the reason I'm calling up, because he's such a piece of crap. So then they give me the sales manager, and I said, you can't help me. He goes, well, just tell me what's going on. So I proceed to tell him, I said, you're not going to believe it. So I go through this whole long story, longer than what we're going through here. And I said, do you see how crappy your service is? And he goes, oh, crap. He said, let me check on this, and I'll get back to you, Mr. Sutton, because this is terribly wrong. And I said, okay, great. So he calls me back up, and he says, you're right. He was supposed to call you back. He said, when can I bring your van back in? And I said, look, I've already fixed the van. I said, you need to give me a refund of the $1,000, whatever it was. I said, and a new grill. I said, because you damaged the grill. And I said, he knew that about it. And he goes, okay, yeah, absolutely. So they did. They gave me $1,000 back, and it's been about a month and a half. Do you think I got my grill yet? No. So whatever. In the meantime, I crashed that van, so the new van that I bought came with a new grill. It's awesome. And when I went to buy a new van, because they had taken care of me so well, you know, giving me the refund of $1,000, I went to another dealership because I'll never go back there again, those scumbags. Okay, so that's the story on the van, right? That's the most worthless dealership ever you could go to, and I have to go 30 miles out of my way if I ever have any warranty issues with the new van. So I'm so thrilled about that. Next little video is going to be about something I found in a parking lot that the police should have come and arrested somebody. It deals with automotive body shop pirate work. Okay, so I pulled up. I was eating my lunch. I got something from Taco Bell, and I rode over, and this is the scene that I saw, and I'm watching, and I'm going, holy crap, that is a fog of paint going through there. I also noticed that all these cars that you're working on are a dealer vehicle, and they came from the Volkswagen dealership. That's where they park their extra cars when they don't have room in their lot. They got a pretty small lot. So I thought, this couldn't be legal, could it? So I do check the law, and the reason that these guys can be able to do this work is because they're supposed to have like super low HVLP guns that have no overspray whatsoever. This guy's using a regular spray gun and a regular compressor and fogging up the atmosphere. He's also scamming out of the real body shops that have all the safety equipment and all the hundreds of thousands of dollars of crap that they had to buy to meet EPA requirements, and I just think that's wrong. And the other part that's wrong is the dealerships know that they're spraying cars in their parking lot, not even their parking lot, a parking lot that they're renting access to, and they don't really care because car dealerships, in the end, are all scumbags. So that's going to be the end of my grab bag videos for today. Keep watching. There's going to be a video where I look at a new vehicle. I don't know what kind it could be, coming up probably at the end of the week. I'm trying to do more content just because I know how important it is for you to see me. I do appreciate you watching, being a subscriber. Click on the subscribe link at the end. Man, I appreciate it. I'm David from the Redneck Garage. Keep turning wrenches.